Welcome to Soccer As We Like It, the Man United Direction. Today we are talking with Houston Red Army, and we're gonna discuss. It's a non-stand on the fence. It's a yes or no. There's no stand on the fence. You have seen the season is over. Is Ole the right man to take United to the next level or not? We are joined with Joe representing. Hello, Joe. We have Bems, the one and only Bems, and Mr. Sam, the analyst. Right, let's go, guys. We've had United finish second, 14 points behind Man City, second in Europa League to Villarreal, a team that came seventh in La Liga. Is Ole still the right man to take United to the next level? It's either he can or he can't. We've seen everything he can do. He's done 2.5 years at United. I'm gonna start with Joe. Is Ole still the man?
I feel like Ole is the right man to take us to the next level, but unfortunately, we are multiple levels away from Manchester City, right? And where we need to be. So as far as getting up to the level of City, maybe even Liverpool, Ole may not necessarily be the man. But the next level, to the point where we would probably come in, would probably like confidently secure second place next season and win some trophies, maybe a trophy. Ole probably could do that if he gets backed, and that's just one level up. But we're multiple levels below City and Liverpool.
So
So
the
that's the way I
multiple
look at it.
levels up, we're talking the Champions League league title level. Is he there yet? Can he get there
No,
even with
he's
what he's given?
from what I've seen with what he's done
Yeah,
with this current squad,
yeah.
it doesn't seem like he has it in there to get us there. His in-game management is like atrocious at times. It's almost as if like somebody that just started playing football manager. You just grab somebody off the street. You grab somebody off the street that have the basic ideas of what football is. You can see like they would make better decisions on the pitch in game than Ole would. I don't understand why he makes certain decisions, and it's only by chance that we haven't found ourselves in these top tournaments against these top teams, because a lot of times those teams will expose a lot of the weaknesses that we have in our coaching and
Mhm.
our now we could get a lot further if you change some of the internal staff that we have, but I don't think he's going to.
Right. Let me go to Sammy. Sammy, you've seen the season. We've all said let's give him time, give him time. 2.5 years. We came second, but that second, are we really worth the best second team in United Kingdom? We went to the Europa League final, five semifinals. I mean, five semifinals and a final. We went there and lost to a team that came seventh in the Spanish league. Is he the man to take United to the next level of Champions League and Premiership League victories?
I think the short answer to this question would be obviously Ole is not the right choice for taking us to that level, like when you can actually expect that United will win Champions League or even Premier League. But going back to that, I don't know what kind of discussion, what the goal was set back in, this Christmas 2018 when he took over the job as an interim manager. If that time his goal was to take United to the next level where we will finish second and maybe make it to a final of any cup. So he already achieved his whatever was said that, but he's still naive to take us to that level where we think we are the best team in the United Kingdom, or even like we compete for Champions League with the likes of PSG or Real Madrid or even Barcelona, because we are not there. I know there is a lot of issues with our lineup. Obviously, we don't have players that we want in certain positions, but there are certain areas where he could easily improve, especially the tactical games. When in most of the cases, let me bring up this UEFA Europa League final. So we can literally tell that Unai Emery tactically beat him. Okay, a
Definitely.
team like
Yeah,
Villarreal spent in the La Liga. Okay, I mean, we had sufficient ammunition in our squad to beat them in the like a normal 90 minutes. Okay, we don't have to wait for penalty shootout. And when it comes that the game is deadlocked and you are making changes after 80th minutes, in what sense you? I mean, you're thinking in that way. So it's just very difficult. Really difficult for me to understand that what his actual coaching tactics is, because you can't find a pattern. Okay, as you said, to introduce me, I'm a data analyst. I like to find pattern. Okay, that's what I do. Okay, it's very difficult to find pattern in Ole's managerial style. Yeah, if you say that, okay, not making subs at 75 minute and 80th minute is a pattern of his coaching style, I can't get that. Okay, I'm not buying that strategy. Okay, so I'm really, I mean, I was very optimistic about his coaching style. I vouched for him for a long time, but maybe this is all he can do. This is his max potential, and I think we reached that threshold. And now the thing is like that, it's up to not only up to Ole, we also have to think about how long we continue with Mike Phelan is a great guy, but how long we're going to continue with Carey and the other guy, forgot his name, not on top of my head, who is a defensive coach. Because how many times you're going to concede goals from set pieces? Okay, what we are doing, you know? So I mean, even the same thing happened in the final game. So I feel like it's if we, it's not only, I mean, Ole is obviously there. I mean, he should be blamed for having a lot of trust on the other coaches. Rather, he intervened and do something in the practice session, which I don't think so. He's doing. I feel like the pattern, even if he did 75 minute, 80 minute substitution, is very monotonous, very predictable. And I mean, I would definitely support him if you'd at least won the Europa final. Still, just finishing second in the Premier League doesn't make any sense. And going back to Marcus Rashford's post, he said that second is nothing after the loss. Okay, yeah, second is nothing. I mean, like, you got to
No one
actually
remembers who came second.
the record. So in that case, I would definitely say Ole is still a mediocre manager. He is not capable of taking us to the next level. But I just wanted to make sure that how much time we can give him. Maybe my opinion, maybe till December, we see where we are. Or if you don't have a good start next season, even if you have a good players, at least we have a couple of good signings to fill up the center back and the defensive midfield position. If you don't make a good start, I don't think so. I will definitely blame Ole for the downfall, and I think we should think about some other alternatives. I don't know. We can think about the alternatives now because right now our priority is to get more signings. But at some point of time, if we don't have a good start next season, we seriously have to think about replacement. I think that's a long answer to your question, but I think that's what I wanted to say.
Thank you, Sammy. Bems, the controversial one. You've seen Ole 38 games. You've seen You've seen him play in the League Cup. You've seen him play in the FA Cup. Seen him play in the Europa League. We came second spot. So last season third, this season second. So he probably get first next season. But he came second to another Europa League team who came seventh in La Liga. Is he the guy to take United to the very next level? Even if he's given the tools, can he do it?
I'm sad to say Ole is not the man. I've I've kind of seen this even before. I'll put it this way: the Europa League finals wasn't really a surprise to me. It was pretty much I was hoping for the best, but expecting what happened. Ole has shown throughout the season his in-game management is poor. He takes too long. He makes subs late in the game, and those subs don't have time to affect change in the game. He doesn't change tactics. He a lot of times he doesn't change the tactics in the game. When I mean changing tactics in the game, bless you.
Bless you.
Bless you.
Thank you.
So when I mean changing tactics in the game is that when the game plan is not going your way, changing things around, changing formations, changing player positions, trying to confuse the opponent, or I mean, just it's as simple as that. Changing formations and then bringing on different players earlier on in the second half rather than waiting to late in the second half to make a change. He has consistently persisted with the same set of players, like 13 players throughout the whole season. He doesn't use his full squad. Even though, yes, you can say, yes, some of the players aren't good enough, but you have a squad. You have to use them. You have to rotate players. You have to rotate them, give them more minutes, get them confident. And when they're confident, then you get better performances out of them. So Ole has shown throughout the whole season, starting from getting knocked out of the group stage of the Champions League with all we needed was 1 point, and we got thrown out so easily, and that was on Ole. Um, Going to how many semifinals? We finally got to a final, and then we lost to a team that was seventh in their league, just like you said, Tim. But is in not only that, this is a second tier European cup, a
Trophy.
second tier European cup. And he went throughout the whole game without making a sub, 90 minutes without making a sub.
That was scary. I
Unai
don't know what he was
Emery,
thinking.
Unai Emery made 5 subs by 90 minutes. So you could tell the intent from Unai Emery. He was trying to do something to change the game, to win the game. Ole did not make 1 sub. Rashford did not play well. He let Rashford play the whole game. Greenwood was having a better game than Rashford, but he takes Greenwood off. He takes Pogba off. He brings on Daniel James. I can understand he was trying to make substitutions planning for penalties. But if you're doing that, then why don't you take De Gea and replace him with Henderson? Henderson's a better
Penalty
better
taker.
at
Penalty stopper.
PKs. So if that's what your plan was, then at least show like if he went with Henderson in place of De Gea, I'm not saying we would have won, but at least you put the better player. If you're putting the better players that are gonna win, score the penalties, then put the better keeper that's gonna save them.
That's true.
That was a complete shambles. That was a nail in the coffin for me. That this guy is definitely not the man. And then the persistent with playing Lindelof is ridiculous. Lindelof couldn't defend. He was the biggest reason why we conceded that goal in the game. In my opinion, they shouldn't have conceded. Like, we shouldn't have conceded a goal. They weren't really.
We were the better team overall 90 minutes, but I don't know.
Every time.
They were sitting back most of the time. We couldn't break them down, which is a consistent thing throughout the whole season, is that we can't break down low blocks. So that was very, very and you can see. And then again, I'll go back to the season where people say, yeah, we finished second, we improved. I don't necessarily say we improved that much, in my opinion. Yes, we got second, but if you look at a lot of the games that we won by narrow margins. It was by 1 goals, like 1-0, 2-1, and moment of brilliance from a player like Rashford's win against Wolves at the last minute, which was like kind of like a deflection, and it went in. And then if you look at like the game against Fulham, whereby he made that crazy block in the last second of the game.
Villa.
If not that game, was it Fulham or was it Aston Villa? Sorry.
But in the Fulham goal, the Pogba scored a scorcher.
He made the block that saved the 3 points. If not, would have looked at 1 point from that game. And then you look at teams like Liverpool, they had so many injuries, they dropped off. So, and then you look at Chelsea, who didn't do well for half of the season. They got Tuchel, and all of a sudden they start pushing up, and they came. We were ahead of them by at least 8-9 points at some point in the season. Yes, we were first for a good part of the season, but we couldn't sustain it. Of course, we're not going to be able to sustain it because we don't have the team, we don't have the manager, we don't have the coaching to be able to sustain that first place lead. So, everything that I've seen, I've said this so many times. It's not like it's surprising, but I've said it. Ole is not the man. Even if you give him the players, even if you give him Varane, you give him Sancho, you give him Declan Rice.
Wow.
He has not proved to me tactically that he can. The fear of not making subs or using your bench is a big worry.
Wow.
So if you now get is there more signings, how am I so sure you're gonna use your bench? How am I so sure you're gonna make the subs at the right time?
So it's like with new players coming in, other players get pushed further and further back
Everybody
in the
gets
pecking
pushed
order.
further back. You can't tell me that McTominay and Fred are better midfielders than Van der Beek. You can't tell me that. You can't tell me that.
And
Van
Van
der
de Beek
Beek
was
is
actually our
quality, but he
signing.
doesn't use Van der Beek. Like, I don't understand. Van der Beek was world class against Wolves, the last home game of the season, whatever game we played. Was it like
Yeah.
the guy? He ran the whole midfield. Van der Beek doesn't
It's
have enough
also a
playing time.
with Ole, I think it's also a trust issue.
He's a see Ole. See, I don't care. It's not a Ole is stupid, man. He has his favorites. No, I'm serious. He has his favorites. He plays Rashford injured. He plays Rashford injured for a whole season, right? I mean, and then he keeps persistent. I mean, he has his Rashford, Rashford, Maguire,
Bruno.
Lindelof is definitely one of his favorites. I mean,
Bruno.
definitely Bruno is one of his favorites. McFred favorites. Persistently, he keeps playing those players every single game. You can't tell me that McTominay and Fred are better than Donny van der Beek.
Don't know.
And look at Twansibi. If Twansibi got more game time, I would put my money on, or I would say, in my opinion, Twansibi is better than Lindelof.
Yeah, he is.
Better than
yeah,
Lindelof.
He won't be
But
given
you
enough time or
consistently
game time. That's
keep
the problem.
playing Lindelof. He doesn't.
So
So yeah.
you have confirmed you're saying
Oh,
now,
I've been.
Bams, you
Maybe
still
he
with
will
us?
show me something else before the end of the season, but no. But I've
No.
been confirmed. He's not the guy.
Sammy, you were about to say something.
Yeah, no, what I was about to say about this Tuanzebe that James mentioned. Yeah, I mean, like, if given a chance, if Tuanzebe would get ample chance, would he be like a worse player than Lindelof? I don't think so, because when Tuanzebe, if you remember the game against PSG, the
Oh
first
yeah,
leg,
yeah.
an exceptional job to
Yeah.
defend against the likes of Neymar and Mbappe. Okay, and Lindelof somehow I felt that right from the beginning of the season because of the Scandinavian connection. I feel like Ole is a little biased towards Lindelof. He's been like pushing him, even if
Yeah,
he's
that's
not
I
good
agree
enough
with that.
to play against formidable teams. Because Lindelof, I mean Maguire, to be honest with you, he surprised me lately. But there is no way we would give ample chance to Lindelof as we already gave him last season. I mean, he should
Right.
have started like more than 80% of our games, which he
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
That's really, I feel like, very disappointing.
It comes down to he is his fear and trust of certain players. He trusts only certain players.
And again, this Van de Beek team, this Van de Beek issue, it's a poor mismanagement from Ole, because you actually had your best signing sitting warming up the reserve bench for most of the time in last season. Okay, why? I mean, you should also try him in some of the games, especially the games where we played really bad, like game against Sheffield. Did Van de Beek play that game, or was he even subbed? I just don't
No.
remember. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I mean, those games when you're literally a deadlock, you need somebody, a fresh legs, and he didn't make
Yeah.
any changes. By the time you're making changes, you are expecting somebody to, just to make a miracle within like 5 minutes or within even like injury time. I mean, God knows what he was thinking on in those times. But I'm pretty sure that he literally downplayed the because I think Van de Beek should have got more chance. And the reports are Van de Beek is going to have a talk. I guess it will be not a good discussion with Ole, but I think he's gonna talk to Ole very soon about his future in the club.
Yeah,
And
I would.
that
I would
Yeah.
if I were him. I would.
he has a huge career ahead of him. I mean, this is the right time for him to bring up the discussion because he came to United for a reason, or he had a lot of trust on the club. He actually followed our legacy. And if you're not playing him, you're not giving him ample chances, he should go somewhere else and like
Yeah, I
his
agree.
career.
Joe, you've heard from everybody. You said your part. I'm not trying to compare, but I'm going to have to use that as a benchmark. Tuchel came in 6 months or halfway through the season after Lampard had miserably failed. Lampard signed everybody. Lampard was a legend of Chelsea. But Tuchel was never a legend, never played for Chelsea. He was brought on 5 months in the season, he took them to an FA Cup final, which they narrowly lost, and Champions League final, which they won, and took them into what, fourth spot, however it was.
hmm
What did he do different that Ole couldn't do? Who's been there 2.5 years? You can't tell me. Even the players Chelsea have, he didn't even have enough time to even really, really work with them. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I
why
mean,
is Ole different? Why couldn't Ole do what this guy did in 5 months? This Ole has not been able to do it in 2.5 years. We can't keep saying, "Oh, I haven't got the players. I haven't got the players."
no, it's clear example of the level of manager that we will need to be successful. Like clearly, Tuchel is a better strategist. He's a better manager.
He's beaten
He's,
Pep 3 times.
I mean, like I know Pep is losing sleep over this dude the next season because it's like this is the guy. This is like the same way maybe like Sir Alex Fergie lost maybe a little bit of sleep with this new special one. Jose came
Yeah,
in with
yeah.
this new
In the
type of
2005,
football.
2006,
You know,
yes.
exactly. You know, even when Wenger came in with Arsenal with their style of play, it
Yep.
was like, okay, it's something to think about. Tuchel is somebody that
Pep.
Pep thinks about.
Yeah.
I don't think you you would have Pep would have to watch Sky News to remember that Ole manages Manchester United. He's not a threat at all to him. Tuchel is just a far superior because you can see him replacing somebody that was kind of having an Ole-esque type of season and doing a lot more with what was given him. And I think there's also that pressure
You're breaking up.
that knows if you fuck around, you are out of there.
Right. He's quite strict and very disciplined with his team.
Yeah, yeah. Well, for United, mediocrity seems to be okay as long as you get in top four. We get in Champions League football. We're getting them add those TV
Failure
contracts and everything.
merchandise.
Everything's cool. Yeah,
Is it
Tuchel's just a superior.
because I mean, I spoke to a lot of Chelsea fans, and honestly, some of them were disappointed Lampard left because Lampard's a legend. Lampard's English. He knows the fiber, just like Ole was to United. But this guy came from PSG. Okay, he managed a French team. Okay, they did not expect much from this guy. But when they started seeing, remember, he went on a run for like 8, 10 games. They did not lose any games. So when we turn into January, February,
He had a lot of draws. Yeah.
Man City were even tipped to win the quadruple, win the treble.
Yeah,
Tuchel went there,
and
stopped him
Tuchel
winning the
stopped it.
treble, stopped him
Yeah.
winning the quadruple, knocked him out FA Cup semifinals, knocked him out Champions League final. I mean, that's a manager who has a plan.
Yeah, I give it to him.
You got to give it to him. He's beaten Pep 3 times. Pep is like, what the hell? Because without Tuchel, I know Pep would have at least won the treble somehow, somewhere.
Taking 2 cups out of Pep's
Yeah.
hands.
Yeah, it took 2 out of him.
You know,
And
2
United
trophies.
are
So
there 2.5 years with the same guy, and we're still saying we are still in transition. We are still trying. Where are we going back and forth? Even like Ben said,
okay,
even if we get
Tim's
all
on
the
that.
players, I think it can't. No, that Europa League final really made me start to think of things because normally I would say give him more time, give him more time. I just think he just doesn't have what it takes. That ability to think strategically. Like, all right, this guy is not doing well. He needs to come up and bring somebody who's good enough to do a better job. He doesn't have that. I don't think he does. And I don't think any of the United coaching staff have it either. I think the whole coaching staff are not right.
And it also reflects on the team as well.
Yes.
Because when it comes down to it, the team mentally does not have what it takes to punch through to the next level.
Of course.
You know?
Because
So, I mean, to the next
he relies
the level
on
we need to
individual
get.
brilliance. We've all realized he relies. That's why he leaves certain players on for so long. He's waiting for that one magical stroke.
That one moment.
Yeah.
And you can't always get that all the time. It's not, you can't do that all the time. Like, oh, one magic all the time. You know, other players, it's a team. It's a team.
Yeah.
Van der Beek didn't even play the Europa League final at all. Not even a minute. Nothing. no extra time, because he doesn't value him.
That's
I've been saying
crazy.
all this for a
That's
long
crazy
time,
though.
man. I've been saying all this for a long time,
Yes,
man.
you have. Yes, you
Yeah,
have. But you
yeah.
see, you
It's
start
I'm not surprised.
you give people chances.
Yep.
The Emery just attacked it to use the better tactics than him, and out tactics Ole completely.
Oh yeah.
Honestly, if we would have won the Europa, I would give Ole a little bit of slack.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Yes.
say, okay, we won silverware. Okay, that's what exactly we wanted. Because going back to that mentality thing, our morals is like so down. Okay, we fans have so high expectation, and if you go back to a manager, our coaching, they are just happy with finishing second. Okay, Ole can give a good speech to Old Trafford fans. I remember the last game, he actually gave us good speech, but actions speak louder than words.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The same thing with the Glazers. Like it seems like they are actually all talking. Okay, just
Oh yeah.
prove it that you are competent because success defines competency. Okay, if you don't win any silverware, if you don't win any trophy, okay, nobody will, nobody will actually follow you. That's why we have a huge fan base all over the world because the success we had for last 3 decades. Like ever Sir took over it, but I mean, I'm literally sad to say that Ole, yeah, he's a club legend, but nobody is bigger than club. Okay, he's a club legend, but nobody is bigger than club. So we should do what is best for the club or best for Manchester United. Doesn't matter whether it's Glazers or Ole. Like if we have to clean our stuff, if we have to like clean our bench, you have to get rid of Mike Fallon, who's also been there for a long time, but haven't had a lot of
Yeah.
impact. We should do that. To be honest with you.
Apparently, I heard my feeling is not even doesn't even take part in the coaching session. So he's part manager with Ole. The coaching is done by
Yeah.
Mike Carrick and what's the other guy? McKenna.
Yeah,
McKenna.
the defensive coach.
So
Yeah,
that's why you see, like, why are we having the same mistakes over and over? Set pieces, we still haven't been able to figure out how to defend for a set piece. Every time a set piece take, every United fan is like, I mean, you can't go through the whole season thinking of, all right, you see, because it's like always riding, oh, whereby a surfer just riding a wave. It's like always riding a wave of luck,
Yeah.
hoping for luck. Oh, hope they don't score on the set piece. Hope we get 1 minute of brilliance. It don't work like that. You have to put in a plan to deliver. Go into the field and say, this team will demolish this team. But we don't. We can't. All the games we lost are at home. It says something.
we don't
Yeah.
have the.
We're basically getting second place in a car race where it's not because Ole's a great driver, it's because he has a great car.
Yeah.
He's got great. There's certain parts of the team that's it's just going to naturally propel you up there. But if you want to win that race, right? You definitely got to sharpen things up. And if the only way I give him a chance now, if he maybe overhauls that coaching staff, because I feel maybe if that's the only way, because the style of play, breaking teams down, if he's not doing that, then it's almost mute to back him, because it's just throwing money. But I'll totally give him till December, because we're definitely not gonna get rid of him. I'll give him till December, and if I don't see any changes, the Glazers need to make changes.
Sancho.
They should be talking to whoever is the
See.
potential right now.
I think Ole's
Let's have a
plan.
list.
I think in
I mean,
Ole's
we gotta have
You
a
mindset.
need to give
I
Ole
think,
time.
Ole's mindset is, if I get Sancho down the right, he'll be able to create and break teams down more. Then that might make things better. But
See.
it's like, okay, that might work. But what of the days whereby you're not able to do that, and your defense is not good enough to even defend a set piece? Then what?
What happens when you get a left back that can shut down?
Exactly
Bruno,
a left back who shut down Sancho? Then what?
yeah. I mean, we saw that with Bruno. Bruno was fantastic throughout the season, but he also had his bad day in the office.
Against Villarreal, he was nowhere to be found.
Players were not playing perform well. What are you going to do? What is your backup plan? A good manager, a coach should have that game reading capacity. So Ole lacked the game reading, and the reason he doesn't have the game reading capacity, he always makes the mistake to sub players. He doesn't make the proper serves at the
See,
right time. He can't
see,
read the
Ole-
game properly.
See, I've said this before, right? There is no style of play at United. You look at United, you do not know what United is doing. We don't have, you can't look at United and tell me what exactly we're trying to do. You can't. I can look at other teams and tell you what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
I saw Chelsea and I saw what Chelsea was trying
Yeah,
to
I
do.
won the
I know
Champions
what
League
Man
final.
City is trying to do. So you have, and people say, yeah, give him time. He needs time. Once he gets his plays, and you see a better style of play. Bullshit. Tuchel came into Chelsea, and within a month, you could already see a totally different Chelsea.
Exactly. From what
Totally
Oh, yeah.
different Chelsea from when
The
Lampard
defense
was
is
there.
unbreakable.
So that tells you that you don't need time to instill your tactics or your style of playing the team. If you're a good manager, and if you're tactically, I mean, whatever the word is, if you're tactically strong, you know what you're doing, you got the coaches behind you, you can make it happen. So all those excuses of give him time, get Sancho, he's gonna do this. That's bull. That's
I
bull.
mean, two
He's
things.
still what he does. He picks the players. He tells them go out on the field, express yourself. This and that. Yeah, Ole is a manager, but is in the coaching behind him. I don't know what they do. You have an inexperienced manager, inexperienced coaching staff. How does that equate to trophies and title races?
It's like a blind leading the blind, bro. That's what it comes
So
down to.
it doesn't, like, in my opinion, I think a better manager would have gotten more out of this team.
I
A
think
better
so. I
manager,
honestly think so. But
a
people
be-
are gonna argue, oh, Mourinho was there, Van Gaal was there. Why did it there? Even
no,
though it's a
see,
different set of players.
it's a different seat. Mourinho, and I said this before, Mourinho won Europa League with a weaker United squad.
Yeah, that's
Yes,
true.
agreed. Yeah,
He won that Europa League comfortably with a weaker United squad. Ole has a better United squad, and he could not beat a seventh place team in the La Liga.
who have never,
Who
ever,
have never
ever won a
ever.
European trophy.
So I don't know what else people want to see. Maybe you want him to start. I mean, maybe you want United to maybe be in 10th place for you to believe it. But I've seen it like it doesn't, like the games we won. You could just watch the games we won, the points difference between us and City. We literally, the difference between this season and last season was 2 wins and 2 draws.
Yeah, six or 8 points, 6 points, 7 points.
8 points, 2 wins and
points.
2 draws.
So in
There
the
is no
whole
difference.
season, you only got different by 8 points.
It just and we lost, all our losses were at home.
You see, because I calculated the games. We drew 11 games we drew, and we lost 6.
And all of them
That
at
is a
home.
total of 51 points at this in disposals. 51.
Man,
Out of that 51, 1/3 is 17 in 51. We didn't even get the 17, which is 1/3. We got 11 out of 51 points, which shows we as a team collectively cannot even get half of the ratio, because it shows how many points we dropped. All people say draw, but draws sometimes are even worse than losses.
Yeah, I mean, I'm and the painful thing about it is that I think a lot of people don't see this, but as I said before, you have a inexperienced coach, you have inexperienced manager, inexperienced coaching staff, you have inexperienced technical director, and then you have
Football director as well.
is in football director. They're all inexperienced.
It's an old boys club.
You have Ed Woodward, who doesn't know anything about football. You have the Glazers, who don't know shit about football. The only people that like you, and then you have the players. The players are gonna do what they're told.
Right.
The structure, and then people talk about this. Oh, we have a structure. We have a director of football. Oh, that is bullshit, man. That doesn't. And these people that are in those technical director roles, like is in Fletcher.
Darren Fletcher.
What experience does he have?
John Murtough.
John Murtough has been in the club for 7-8 years. If he's been in the club for 7, 8 years and he was
He's-
gonna be, and he's
He's
been
part.
instrumental.
He used to be part of the negotiating team, so we can see where
Yeah,
we've been going
it's,
so
not-
far.
it's not gonna make a difference. You know what? Let's see how this summer transfer goes. I bet you won't see much difference between this summer and last summer. You
Wow.
won't see much difference.
You-
I mean, yeah, the Glazers will probably buy Sancho to appease the fans so they can get shirt sales, because they're all about the money. But Sancho is a deal that should have happened last summer.
Hmm.
The center back is a deal that should have happened last summer.
Yep.
We're having to plug 3 holes now,
Yep.
and then we're gonna probably plug. Isn't 2 of those 3 holes should have been plugged last summer,
Yep.
and now there's a new hole, CDM, that is
Yep.
gushing. So we want to plug that one too. We don't know if we're gonna plug. I'm having the feeling we're not even gonna plug that hole.
We need to plug that.
Honestly,
I feel like if we can plug that one, that's the most important.
That is the most important.
I'll be
because
surprised if we plug
that
it.
that McFred cannot. We can't do
Oh,
no
we-
Fred next
we-
I'll be
season. I'm sorry.
surprised if we plug it. Already
what the
hearing-
price was set for Rice? I mean,
He's too expensive. 80 million is what's their rumored once.
80?
Jack-
Too
Declan Rice?
expensive. For
Yeah.
Declan Rice, it's too
But
expensive.
what of part exchange with Lingard and cash?
I don't. United are not smart enough
We're
to
not
do
gonna do
that.
swap deal, I guess.
United are not smart enough to do that. United will probably want cash for. They'll probably want cash for Lingard, and it's all up to Lingard too. If Lingard doesn't want to go to West Ham,
Well,
you can't do the deal.
I don't think Lingard
So-
wants to sit on the bench because he
Yeah,
ain't
yeah,
playing in
he
front of where
won't.
Bruno's playing. That ain't happening.
Especially after he had a good
he's
run
right.
at West Ham.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's there. A lot of things go into these deals. Both parties have to be on the same page. The player has to want to go. The salary too. You got it's a lot of things that go in play. So
Look at players like Mata. Why is Mata still there?
It's
Let's
a
call it
good-
as is. It
it's
needs
a
to
good
be
old
done.
boys club. It's a good old boys club, man. That's what it is. United is not a big club anymore. Forget all we're doing is we're writing on the name and the past history.
Yeah,
United are a
yeah,
big
yeah.
club.
Yes,
I mean,
that's
everyone
a,
that said
We're
people
living on the legacy
like
still.
United, they don't want to hire the best in class, like
mm,
the best in class people or the most experienced people for the positions, because they're afraid that they're gonna get found out.
oh yeah,
You know
incompetence.
what I'm saying? So it's I mean, to me, in my opinion, the future, what I see for United is not promising, because I think all what we're seeing is a lot of papering the cracks here and there. Just do this, appease the fans. Oh, do this. Oh, get second. Oh, then the fans start to believe. Oh, yeah, we can do this. But the reason why we were even second in the first place was because of, things that went in our favor. We're
Yeah.
lucky with injuries.
Liverpool, Chelsea.
Liverpool dropped, and Chelsea. But now next season you're gonna be fighting Liverpool, who's gonna be strengthened. Those injuries. Van Dijk and them are gonna be back to back to being healthy. Look at Chelsea, who has Tuchel, who has a better squad than us, and they're still gonna back him and buy more players. You have Guardiola there. Yeah, he lost the Champions League final, but still the best manager in the Premier League. He has a squad, and he's gonna get better players. And you look at Leicester City, who is, they're a team that's lurking in the background. You guys need to pay attention to Leicester City.
They won a trophy.
They
won a
exactly.
trophy.
They won a trophy with a squad that is not as good as our squad.
They beat
but-
us in the semifinals.
They beat us, but people are still giving
we
Ole
were
more.
humiliated actually.
As in, people are still giving Ole more. As in credit, give him time, give him time. The writing's on the wall, man. I said it.
for
and
Bems. So no, you don't. He doesn't need no more time. You think
He
should
doesn't
just
need
be
more
done?
time. I said it. I'm sorry to say this, but I said it during the season. I said United won't finish the league with a trophy.
Yes, you said so.
Yeah,
I
said
agree.
it won't-
I remember that.
I said it won't. It won't happen. That day of the final, man, I was praying. I said, man, okay, we can do this. It can happen. I was praying for it to happen, but then when it just didn't happen, I was like, well, I'm not surprised. It's been proven. It's been proven, but I don't know, man.
Sammy,
Lots of words.
Sammy, when you saw the Europa Cup, we were all watching it together. The Europa League final, no substitutions, I don't know what he was going through his mind. We were the better team to a point, but Emery just had the right players in the right place. When he saw someone was a leaking spot, he filled the spot. He filled it. He filled it. We just kept playing the same team over, looking for luck, looking for magic to happen. It doesn't work. This is not Disneyland. This is real.
This real, obviously I was praying to my God and God Almighty, but I was literally think it shouldn't come this far. I mean, we should have ended the game in the 90th minute with a better squad. We have a better quality players, and we still stuck with Villarreal. Yeah, there is a point of fact. Some fans were saying that we always had a hard luck against Villarreal, against Villarreal in some of the Champions League final. But forgot that, like, I mean, think about the present. Okay, so how would you rate your players when you think that there's one mediocre players constantly playing for the 90th minute, even his performance is so poor? Okay, I think either Joe or Ben's mentioned that why can't we even serve De Gea when we are thinking that that the penalty shootout will be inevitable? Okay, career performance in terms of blocking penalty shootout than De Gea, because De Gea never could,
No,
penalty
he's
shoot
not saved a penalty in nearly 4 years, bro.
all over. Like he was literally jumping on the other end whenever they're taking the shot.
Like he wasn't even
Nowhere near to
close.
save one,
No, he was not.
no, nowhere near. So that's the thing. Like again, I'm gonna focus on that game reading, that the game reading capacity. Ole really lacks that. And if he really wants to be a manager, I know when he started with us, he had a good run. I showed trust on him because I thought, okay, new manager, let's give him some time. But it's 2.5 years. Okay, obviously at some point in time, you prove someone's success and you compare that person managerial career with somebody else. So now we have Tuchel on the other end, who just got like few months to took Chelsea from nowhere to Champions League
Exactly.
final and also won 2 trophies. I think about he literally changed Timo Werner. I mean, two things Tuchel did. Like I mean, I was literally becoming fan of him. Okay, so defense, Chelsea defense, rock solid in the final. I mean, the Chelsea City was like literally pressing all throughout the second half. They couldn't actually penetrate that.
Man
And
City Man City don't play long balls. They were now using long balls because they
yeah,
had no way to go.
and the Timo Werner, I mean, like he played really better under Tuchel. I mean, he was nowhere when Lampard was there. So
Yeah.
I understand people would say that, oh, Tuchel already got a good squad because
Nah,
like
they were not his players. He didn't put them there. He just came there. He didn't buy anyone.
And Ole didn't actually have a bad squad. I mean, we had a really formidable squad to
Yeah.
win Europa, the second tier European football tournament, and we didn't do it. Okay, so at the beginning, even I was supporting Ole, but also one time I mentioned that I would definitely want him to finish second because I know we are still not that level to compete with City, but I really wanted that Europa final. The
Yeah.
day we lost the game, I literally took my support of Ole. I'm
Same
telling
with
you,
me. Same with me.
we're on the recording line.
As I went on some of the forums,
Yeah.
I'm all out. I can't do this again because I just don't think he has what it takes to take the team. I think
Exactly.
this is his level. I think this is where he could take them to. I think this is where it can't get any better because even you give a good farmer tools, if he's not a good farmer in really knowing how to do the soil, you could give him all the machine and tractors. He's still not going to deliver because that is not good enough. You see what I mean?
And the thing is like the right now what Joe mentioned, I know it's kind of difficult to sack him at this moment because again people would definitely do the performance assessment and Ole could say that, oh, I actually took them from third spot to second spot, so that means there's an improvement, so you can't just fire me on that ground.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna give him few more months. I think December we should have a hard stop. We should have a like a like in a corporate we have a performance review. We should have a
Yeah.
review
Yeah.
of always the second and the first half of the season by December and see where we are. If we can't compete for the PL in a Premier League by December, which I don't think so, we will because Chelsea had a better team than us and Leicester is kind of breathing down our neck. Okay, so we've got to watch out for Chelsea and Leicester for sure. I'm not talking about even City because City is already in a different level. I think they will start where they left off in the last season. Okay,
Yeah.
so I really, I mean, like, to be honest with you, I'm a very optimistic guy, but I guess in some case, I think I gotta tell that our future is not looking bright, especially when your management chains are really vulnerable. I mean, all we know that a good employees leave the company when the managements are not good. So the
Oh
same
yeah,
thing happening in the United
you're
States.
very correct.
I'm trying to draw an analogy. The
Let
players
me
are leaving.
quickly
Bruno will,
run. Let me
yeah,
quickly
Bruno
run
will,
into.
then
Um,
he will leave also.
what's your take on this Trippier guy who was going to be the right back for Wan-Bissaka? Joe, quickly, what do you think? Kieran Trippier.
Um,
He's a regular England right back. I seen regular. He's not on first name on the sheet, but he's going to be backup
I
for Wan-Bissaka.
it depends on what kind of play Ole wants to institute next season. If he wants a more forward moving right back, then yeah, I see Wan-Bissaka possibly losing his job if it doesn't cost the team that much defensively. Because Wan-Bissaka, though we've had spurts throughout the season of him playing well with Greenwood, that that relationship is still not there. We're still very
Nah.
left
It's
side
broken. It's not
heavy
going to work.
as far as our movement forward, and we need somebody that can consistently get a good ball in the box. With somebody like Cavani up there, we got to be able to get somebody that can consistently get some good crosses in the box. So
Right.
I'm up for it, and it'll probably push Wan-Bissaka to elevate his game.
Oh yeah.
It'll push him to elevate his game the same way Tellez elevated Luke Shaw's game.
Right.
Maybe he's hearing these rumors now. So hey, Wan-Bissaka, he's not going to be playing in the Euros. I don't know how, but he's not going to be playing in the Euros. Hey, get on that pitch. He needs to be training right now. He needs to be preparing for that competition that's coming for him. So yeah, I'm up.
Sammy, carry on Trippier. Sorry.
Well, first of all, what I'm going to say, the similar thing, what happened to Luke Shaw. When Taylor's came into the squad, it's literally created that kind of a competitive mindset. And Luke Shaw literally kind of elevated his game. Like we saw a different kind of player out of Luke Shaw in last season. And the best thing happened to him, the inclusion of Alex Telles. So if the person you mentioned is good enough, if he can put pressure on Wan-Bissaka, then definitely sometimes it's a healthy competition, good in the squad. That will definitely, they kind of mutually they help each other out. So maybe that would help Wan-Bissaka. And also one more thing I wanted to point out is that I don't know how much impact Jordan Sancho will have, but one thing for sure, if Sancho would be there, then Wan-Bissaka won't have to like do that galloping on the right flank. He can stay behind. He can watch because we've seen there are so many instances we had too much space and in the right
Yeah.
flank. And people, the opponents basically manipulated that because of Wan-Bissaka's mindset and the reason he was told to like gallop. Maybe if Sancho would be there, he doesn't have to do that. He can just sit back, just focus on defensive lineup. But again, so given that, if Sancho would be there and if this guy, mentioned would be good enough to create that healthy competition, hopefully that will help Wan-Bissaka. I like that guy. He's a really good right back. He has a lot of heart. His fight tackles are, one of the best in the world I've seen so far. Okay, but I guess he still needs some improvement. Maybe this kind of thing will give him that avenue.
Right. Bams. Kieran Trippier.
I like the guy. I like the player. He's a good
He
right
won.
back.
He just won a league title with Atletico.
Yeah, I like the guy. I like him. He can get forward and put some good crosses into the box, and that's what we need. I think he's gonna push Wan-Bissaka. Well, I hope he pushes he pushes Wan-Bissaka to improve his game. I think it's gonna be the I hope it to be a similar situation as what happened to Luke Shaw on the other side of the field. But I'm having the funny feeling that Trippier is gonna push Wan-Bissaka out the first 11. I
Well,
seriously think
if that's
so.
what it takes, I need.
Yeah, I think so.
Because defending, apart from sliding tackles, I sometimes think
Yeah.
Wan-Bissaka gets caught out a lot. Look at
Yeah,
the
his
RB
defending.
Leipzig game.
Yeah.
Although sometimes I would say it's due to tactics. Some of those
True.
him not being in position is due to is you can see that because when he plays with Lindelof, he always has to account for Lindelof. Like Lindelof is like dragging him closer or
Sucking him inwards.
sucking him inwards. So that's why that back post is always open. And again, is because we don't have a center back that is that's physical enough, that's good enough, that can play his position. If we had a better center back playing in Lindelof's position, I don't think you see Wan-Bissaka getting caught out of position as much. I think it's because of Lindelof, and tactically they're trying to protect. It's part of the protection of protecting Lindelof and Maguire. But all in all, I just feel like Trippier gives you just a little bit more. I think Trippier is better on the ball than Wan-Bissaka. Trippier has a better cross. He's better attacking wise than Wan-Bissaka. So if you look at it, if you get a better center back that can cover, is in a better center back to play along Harry Maguire that could cover that side. So when if Trippier is playing, for example, Trippier bumps forward, right, to provide width when you're attacking, right. Then on the counterattack, because you have a physical, is in fast, good in the air center back, that center back will cover that is in what Trippier is, will cover that position that Trippier is left. So then you're not that worried as with when you're playing with Lindelof. You get, that's why having a good center back is beneficial to the team, because then you can have more of those. You can have the right back bumming forward, providing the crosses, because you want to commit as much people as you can to the attack, and also is in keeping your defense strong too. So everything adds up. But I do think that Trippier would be a good addition to the team.
Right. We will say we just have to wait for the summer. United have been linked with everybody, including Billy the Butcher. We are having Varane, Declan Rice. We don't know if that's going to happen. We'll just have to wait and see. It's going to be a long summer. We have the Euros. We have the Olympics. We have the South American football. So there's going to be a lot of football for this summer.
Copa America.
Copa America. We're going to have a lot of that. So we're going to see. I think the Copa America, I think Brazil have decided they're going to host it now, right?
Yeah, they're going to host it. They're going to host it. I just want that none of our players get injured, hopefully, in that international duties.
Right. Have Brazil called French back to the Brazilian squad?
Man, yo, Brazil took back his passport. What are you talking about? It's like, give me that. You can't come back.
Yeah, so
he's now playing for going to Angola, right?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Right, you've heard it from Houston Red Army. This is part one of our show. Is Ole the man to take United to the next level? We've seen the season. We finished 14 points. Even Paul Scholes said finishing 14 points behind City is not good enough. Losing to a seventh team in La Liga is not good enough. A team that the whole city could fit into Old Trafford. That's how small they were in reference to how could United this big not be able to beat that team is not good enough. From all of us here, Bems, Joe, and Sammy, we shall see you on our next show, which will be the part 2. Is Ole the right guy? By then, probably United have signed more players by then. We'll just have to wait to see. I'll see you guys. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. We'll see you guys very soon in our next show. Guys, thank you very much, Sammy, Joe, and Ben. We'll see you guys very soon. Take care and God bless.
Glory, glory, Man United.
There you go. Ole out.
Yep. Ole out, man.